All right, guys, we're going to play a little game. It's called active versus passive real estate, and which one is better. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the bell notification icon so you know when a new video is uploaded. Tax laws are changing all the time. The laws are changing all the time. That's why you're first to know, you're first to grow. And so I'm just going to kind of lay it out to you in a couple ways. A lot of times I like to use analogies. So let's just say that every time you did X activity, boom, you got smacked in the head. Eventually, you're going to realize don't do that. It's kind of like the dog or the cat, or I have cats. So let's say that they keep jumping up on the counter, loud noise. Hey, move. That's letting them know to skedaddle. And eventually, if they ignore it, then you give them a little pat on the hiney and try to get them out of there, or get some newspaper and make some noise, right? That's the little whack. Taxes are like that. Taxes are no different. And active income is the whack. And the reason in that little whack and what it is you get ordinary tax treatment. And in addition, you're also going to get old age, death, and survivors and Medicare on top of it, also called the self-employment tax or Social Security. Then you look at the other side. And the other side is you get a little nook. You go over here. Like, let's say the cat's doing good and you pet him, or the dog and you give him a little biscuit or something. That's the called an attaboy. So you get a little whack, and then you get a little attaboy. And you got to decide which ones you want. In the tax world, you're getting this little whack every time you're getting active ordinary income. In real estate, what is active income? And let's just kind of look at it. I'm going to use red because it's kind of bad. It's not necessarily good. So for active income, you're going to have your real estate agents. Whoops, it's making some noises. Real estate agents, you're going to have your brokers. They're making money. Whew, it's loud today. You have your brokers. You have flippers, wholesalers. You have your flippers. You have construction. You have developers, or I'm going to call them dealers. Anybody that buys property with the intent to resell, then it gets this bad treatment. And this bad treatment really boils down to a few different things. You have active, meaning you have Social Security. So we'll just call it active Social Security tax, or better yet, we'll just call it SE, self-employment tax. You're getting hit on old age, death, and survivors and Medicare on every dollar that you're making. It's ordinary income, which means the more you make, the higher the percentage of what they take. So the more you make, the more they take. So this is all bad stuff. So the active income is good in a couple of ways because it shows it's good for loans. So that's a good thing, is, hey, I have active income. They want to see active income. And I can contribute to retirement plans. So I can fund a 401k, IRA out of this type of money. Now let's contrast that to passive. And on the passive side, we have, and I'll use a different color for this. Let's say I'll use orange because it's happy. Orange will be our happy number. So our passive, real easy. It says, you already know it has no self-employment tax. So no SE tax. You also get to take depreciation against it. So you have your depreciation. If you don't know what that is, depreciation. If you don't know what depreciation is, if I make $10,000 on real estate, let's say I have rents come in, and I have $10,000 of real estate, my net taxable income is zero. If I have negative $10,000 because I have no rental income, I don't get to offset my active income unless I qualify as an exception, which is called a real estate professional status, which is a topic for a different day. The cool thing about this is when I'm doing passive income, in passive income are rents, royalties, interest, dividends, and capital gains. Those are your passive sources. Those are not subject to self-employment tax. When you're looking at capital gains, you could even have long-term capital gains treatment, which is capped at 20% federal income tax, no matter how much you make. That's the cap on it. If you are getting paid dividends, it's capped at 20%. Like there's a few little nuances. If you have futures, 80% of it is, or there's 40 rule, 60% tax is long-term
short term. There's some little things, but for real estate, we'll just zero in on that one. We care about the no self-employment tax, no depreciation, and then the type of asset, because a lot of these assets, I can generally trade my real estate for more real estate and avoid tax. So it's called a 1031 exchange, where I can literally say I'm going to sell $1 million of real estate, and so long as I buy $1 million of real estate, I pay no tax. You cannot do that over here. You cannot do something else. So that's a huge one. I cannot 1031 exchange. So I'm going to put right here, there's no 1031 on active income. There's another thing that you can't do, and that is over here on this passive, I can do installment sales. So this is a big smiley face. So I can do an installment sale. I can take that hit over time. So if I sell something over a 10-year period, let's say I sell a piece of real estate over a 10-year period, I can be recognizing that tax hit over a 10-year period. I would literally have part of that money coming back as tax-free, which is my basis. Part of it is depreciation of any, or depreciation recapture on any depreciation I took, which is capped at 25%. It's not 25%, it's your tax bracket capped at 20%. Plus I'd have long-term capital gains, plus I'd have interest. All of those would get factored in, and I would take them over a set period of time. I cannot do that over here. You do not get, so there's no installment. And that's a big one in real estate, because a lot of times we sell property, we want to carry the note. You do an owner carry, you want to make sure that you're over here. You want to make sure it's passive. Is there a way to make active real estate into passive, or vice versa? Is there a way? Yes, you actually have to do an arm's length sale. So you have to be very deliberate about converting something over. A great example is our friends over there doing Airbnbs, because Airbnb is active if it's 7 days or less, the average rental. Then that's going to be over here. If it's more than 7 days, 8 days, beyond, you're passive. So how do you, so what the heck are we going to do? Well, you either make sure that you're doing long-term rentals, which you can be very deliberate about. You go and opening your eyes saying, hey, I want to get all this good treatment. I want my depreciation, all that. Or we create new taxpayers. An active taxpayer, like a corporation, to be the active taxpayer, and then I make myself the passive, and I rent long to the corporation and let it have all the guests and all that fun stuff. Anyway, that's topic for another day, but the idea. So let's go back and just do a quick review. If you're active in real estate, so you're a real estate agent, broker, wholesaler, flipper, dealer, some sort of developer, construction, whatever, you're getting hit with ordinary income, and you're getting hit with that self-employment tax. You have to do things to reduce it. You haven't gotten into that. There are ways to reduce it. Retirement plans, there are certain types of investments, there's giving money away, there's lots of deductions and all those things that we're gonna use to push down that tax hit, to take it away. It's kind of like rolling with a punch. If you know the punch is coming, if you roll with it, it's not going to hurt you nearly as bad. Then we look at the passive side. Passive side is awesome because we avoid a federal tax completely. The self-employment tax, which is old age, death, and survivors, and Medicare. It's 15.3% on your dollars. There is a phase out on a portion of it, on 12.4% phases out at about $120,000, but it's a pretty hard hit if that's what you're making. Your depreciation, you really want to get depreciation, it's only available on the passive side, on the investment property, and you get to do installment sales. So that's our happy place. So that's a good old attaboy. That's like, oh, that's good. That's the dog getting the bone. And we don't want to get the newspaper on our hiney. That's the active income. So if you ever have to think about active versus passive income in real estate, just know that the holy grail for the wealthiest people in this country, the top 2%, top 1%, is passive income. You can look at their tax returns. You can look at the tax data that the IRS provides. And the richest folks have a significant portion of their income coming in off of passive sources as opposed to active. In fact, the minority of their income, less than 40% on average, comes out of this side. So what does that tell us? It means go towards the passive. It's our friend in real estate. I hope that gives you a little bit of a clue. If you need any guidance on this, always talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. I've always talked to good tax folks. If you need guidance on this, you can always talk to Anderson. Our information should be attached to this video.